Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, the Jerusalem Psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Parshas Korach is titled The Broken Jug. In this week's Parsha, we read about Korach and the machlokes that he had with Moshe and the following punishment of being swallowed by the ground. And the Medrash learns out from this the severity of machlokes. It says anyone that is involved in machlokes, that they are completely destroyed, that their memory is wiped out. So we can ask, what is so severe about machlokes, and what is the pernicious effect of machlokes that it warrants such a severe punishment? And if we look at machlokes, it is in order to define machlokes, we can see it as a breaking down of the boundaries of interpersonal relationships. And if we look at interpersonal relationships in our life, we have two modalities. One is the relationship that we have with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, ben Adam lamakam, and the other is the relationship that we have with man, ben Adam lachavero. And each one can inform and contribute to the other. That we can use our relationship with man to help to build a relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, or the other way around, that we build a relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and this filters down into building and understanding the relationship that we can have with our fellow man. And there are two main psukim that are associated with our relationship of Ben Adam Lamakam and Ben Adam Lachavero. Ben Adam Lamakam is the pasuk of V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha, that we should love Hashem with all our heart. And the other with Ben Adam Lachavero, with our man, is V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. We have these two psukim that is trying to build up love, a relationship in our interpersonal relationships. And I'd like to focus on the pasuk of Ben Adam Lamakam. V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha. The Gemara says b'chol levavecha means with both your yitzers, with your yetzer hara and your yetzer tov. So we can understand, logically it makes sense to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu with your yetzer tov. So what is this aspect of the yetzer hara? So what is being taught is that we can use our inclinations, whether for good inclinations or bad inclinations, we can use them both in a way to build a relationship. That there is this constant tension and conflict between the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. Which one can influence the other more? That the Yetzer Tov can actually influence the Yetzer Hara as well. That we use both our positive inclinations and also our negative inclinations in a productive way. So in the sense of machlokes can be seen as something which can be destructive, but also can be something productive. It depends whether you're using the Yetzer Hara or the Yetzer Tov, or whether the Yetzer Hara has the greater influence, is the dominating force over the Yetzer, whether the Yetzer Tov is the dominating force over the Yetzer Hara, or whether it's the reverse, so the Yetzer Hara is the dominating force over the Yetzer Tov. And this is reflected in the research as well. When we look at machlokes, in a negative sense, there is the idea of a argumentative personality disorder, someone who seems to be critical about everything, looks for the negative, is someone that is difficult to be around because there's certain narcissistic characteristics about them. They are very dominating and manipulative. So this is a person, an argumentative personality disorder, or has a personality type, is, in a sense, we can see them as functioning through the element, or through this aspect of the Yetzer Hara of a machlokes. But in reverse, if we can see how perhaps the Yetzer Tov can influence the Yetzer Hara, if we look at the research into family relationships, into marital relationships, machlokes or arguments are not necessarily negative per se. In fact, they're part and parcel of the nature of family life, of an intimate relationship. It depends how you argue, and what the argument is, how it is used. In the sense, how the Yetzer Tov is able to influence the Yetzer Hara. That the inclination to be argumentative and to find something to be critical of can be changed and can function and be expressed through the conduit of the Yetzer Tov to be something that can motivate change, something that can motivate a productive end result. But it depends if you are using machlokes in a way to understand the other, to respect the other, to acknowledge the needs of the other person. And it's through this that the Yetzer Tov is able to have an influence on the Yetzer Hara that creates a productive rather than a destructive end to an argument, to a machlokes. So if we look at the idea of a machlokes and how it influences and the effect it has on a person's life, and we look at this, the idea of the Medrash, that it's ma'abed zichro, it has the potential to wipe out a person's memory. I'd like to look at as machlokes as being like a jug. that our life is like a jug. We put in all our experiences, all our memories, our interactions, our relationships, our successes, our failures, go into this jug. And we want to try to make the most beautiful jug possible, the strongest jug possible. So we want to mold it, we want to move it, we want to change it, we want to perfect it and beautify it, so we can look at this jug, which is the jug of our life, and to look on it and admire it, and to make it as beautiful and as strong as possible. But when there is machlokes is like a vibration. It's something that shakes inside this jug. It is like an insidious process that slowly develops cracks in this jug, and the cracks get bigger and bigger and bigger each time we have a machlokes, each time that we use machlokes in a destructive way through the Yetzer Hara. And eventually this crack creates it develops more and more until the jug completely breaks and there's nothing left. As the Medrash said, ma'abed zichro, that the memory is completely wiped out. There is nothing left. There is no jug. It's cracked to the point where it completely breaks. And this is the destructive force of machlokes. So we want to try to understand this concept of machlokes and understand the tension between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov, the tension between a productive potential or a destructive potential, and to create the most beautiful and strongest jug possible. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.